Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry, Caleb here. Boomer, Caleb.
Boomer.
And we are coming at you from the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma, where we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma, but we do have eligibility left. Just want to let everybody know Rob is on the sidelines tonight. Had some business to take care of, I think, at the university. And so he's not going to be with us this evening. So you just got me and Caleb, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Baylor game and the TCU game that's coming up, the college football playoffs, and probably a lot more. But remember, let's get all this stuff out of the way. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're listening to us on YouTube right now, make a comment below. We try to engage our fans that listen to the podcast as much as we can. We'll get to your comments as soon as we can. Also, if you listen to us on iTunes, subscribe on any app that you listen to, but on iTunes, if you would rate us and make a comment, it helps move us up and lets other fans know about our podcast. Make sure this Saturday, if you're in Norman, you want to come by and say hi. We will be at the corner of Jenkins and Brooks at our final tailgate like a champion. We will be up and running at 1 p.m. on the corner there. Bring your own drinks. We started just asking people to bring their own drinks. We have Teresa will be making her wonderful chili for the day. We'll have snacks, TVs, and music, chairs, and everything else. So I end up not sitting very much. So if you want a chair, we have chairs. But come out and say hi if you're in town. Also, make sure, speaking of tailgating, if you're going to be out and about and you want to see the best tailgates, you're not going to be at the Oklahoma game, but you want to go tailgate with some great people, check out tailgateconnect.com. They can link you up to the best tailgates, both college and pro football. And also make sure, if you're not a tailgater, or you're not in Norman, or even if you're in Norman, if you are in Norman and you need somewhere to go watch a game, you want to watch it with Sooner fans, Team Bar Finder app is where you go. Get it in the Apple Store or on Google Play. On the Google Play store, you can find the nearest bar that is showing a Sooner watch party, showing the Sooner game, having a watch party for you. Go join other Sooner fans. If you have a bar you go to that shows Sooner games and you'd like more people to show up, go to Team Bar Finder app and load that bar in it. You can also go to www.teambarfinder.com. And if you want to learn football, Jason Young has trenchwarfarereport.com. Breaks down the Sooners in the trenches, play by play. He had some great stuff out today, or actually yesterday, going over Jalen Hurts and his calmness towards the end of the game, nerves of steel, and had a great commentary on a Baylor defensive lineman who was wearing a running back's mask and could not figure out what the heck that was all about, and I agree with JY. If you're a lineman, if you're a hitter, if you're a big man, you wear a big face mask. Right, Caleb?
Sure.
Okay.
What time does tailgate start Saturday?
Tailgate starts at 1 p.m.
So not for the start of the Ohio State-Penn State game.
Not before?
Well, it starts at noon.
Oh. Well, we'll be there at noon. So
I guess noon then,
Yeah, people can come at noon. You can come anytime you want. We'll be there setting up at 11. We just tell everybody, we'll be up and running by 1. But
I believe it's noon because I think it's the big Saturday game, whatever we call it. The big. So I would guess that's the noon game.
Yeah, the big noon Saturday.
Yeah.
But we will be showing it on the TV there. And if we're not done setting up, feel free. You can help us continue to set up, or you can stay there and watch the game. There will be plenty of games around if we're not up. That's usually the first thing. Teresa jumps on the food. I jump on the TV and the music, and we get it all rolling pretty quick. So, Caleb, still any final thoughts about the OU Baylor game?
I guess it wasn't impressive enough. That's the only thing I really thought about it. I mean, I was kind of figured the committee wouldn't be too impressed with it because how low they have Baylor, but committee is a bunch of idiots, so we can get to that later. But I mean, it was still a great game to think about. Like, still crazy that we came back from that deficit and how much we just dominated that second half.
Well, apparently the committee thought well of Baylor's performance.
Where were they ranked at?
14th. They dropped one spot.
Is that are they ahead of Auburn?
I'm not sure. Let me pull it up here real quick. I have it up on the computer. Let's see. Yes, they are one ahead of Auburn.
Huh. That's so they're impressed with their first half performance, but I guess not enough for our second half.
It's not enough of our second, because when Rob and I were at the coaches show last night,
what was Lincoln's reaction when they told him we're?
He never reacts to it. He just
Like,
yeah, okay.
Well, normally we can't control our own destiny. This is the first year we haven't controlled our own destiny since like this year 2 or whatever, or year 1.
Well,
it's the first year we're in the hunt that we don't control our own destiny. Really.
Yeah, and like I said, what was strange about it was when they count it down.
Yeah, they went one. I saw them in the gym. I was at the gym when it came on. I stopped while I was doing it and watched it, and I saw them count it down from. Was it like when they went to four, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, but I mean they start at 25 and work their way down. And when I saw Baylor pop up at 14, I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
Because now they consider Baylor a good team. They have a quality loss, a good loss. So we may jump a few people here, and lo and behold,
no one. Only thing we jumped is the team that lost.
Yeah.
And then the team jumped us. Like, was Penn State ahead of us last week? Yeah, they were ahead of us.
Yes, they were.
Stupid. But I mean, I guess OSU being ranked's good. Especially, I think we need Chuba Hubbard to go off this week, and we need OSU to dominate because that'll be a marquee game against 2 Heisman hopefuls, and so that'll get a lot of eyeballs, and hopefully we go in the Stillwater rivalry game. I mean, we need a lot of stuff that we need Arizona State to win this week. Honestly, I mean, it's just
the things that we needed to happen didn't happen. I mean, first off, we needed everybody that we had beaten to win out. Kansas State. Horrible loss to West Virginia.
Yep.
Texas.
OSU's handling them apart at least. That's
loses to Iowa State.
Yep. Iowa State's ranked now, though.
Yeah,
so,
Iowa State's ranked. So Oklahoma State moved up to 21, but everybody knows the rankings. LSU 1, I don't have an issue with. Ohio State.
I have an issue with that.
2, I don't have an issue with that. Clemson, they're undefeated.
And they're killing teams.
4, Georgia, I have an issue with. I just think they have a horrible loss.
They have a horrible loss, and they haven't looked impressive at all.
Yeah.
The only quality win they have is Florida.
Yeah. And then, of course, Alabama.
It's a huge issue with that.
I have a huge issue with that. What's your issue with Bama?
Well, my issue with LSU being 1 is ridiculous. Their defense stinks. Their defense is terrible. I don't know why they're number 1. They give up like 400 yards to Ole Miss. Like, that's not like – How did that get penalized for their crappy defense? They have a terrible defense, and that getting penalized for it.
They beat Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Whatever. Like, Ohio State's killing teams, shutting teams out, scoring on everyone. But then LSU's giving up 400 yards to Ole Miss. Like, so stupid. So Georgia, I mean, issue they have only one win. They're getting ranked because they're SEC. I mean, I guess. I mean, they have a good win against Florida. Have they beat anyone else, really? Notre Dame, I guess. Notre Dame's not that good, though. So... And then Bama, you don't know how good they are. I think Bama should drop just because Tua's hurt. Like,
well, and that's funny you say that because that's what everybody anticipated. I mean, I was watching stuff Saturday night after the OU game, and they were like, "Bama's going to drop."
They should drop because they're not as good. Like Tua is a first round a top 10 draft pick. If we lost Kyle Murray last year, same like this, like Bama lost Tua, we would drop instantly. But since their name's Alabama and they're proven, they're not going to drop them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not worried. Bama's not going to make the playoffs. I mean, they're going to fall eventually because, I mean, they might lose 2 games. I mean, because I don't know how good this kid is. And their defense isn't very good.
They're not going to win. They're not going to lose this weekend.
Who are they playing? Oh, they're playing nobody?
Yeah, like Western Carolina.
And they play Auburn?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they might lose to Auburn, which that will hurt us still because that means that helps Oregon. But, I mean, I think Bama's done. So, I think the Tuas that gave them hope, but like if they struggle for the rest of the year, they're not getting in.
Where did you think we would be in the?
I thought 7. I thought we'd be ahead of Penn State.
I thought we'd
be ahead of Penn State, and I thought we'd be possibly ahead of Utah. I thought we'd be 7 or 6.
That's where I thought we needed to be in order to have any chance of getting in. I just don't think there's any chance of getting in. Yeah. I mean, if Oregon and Utah lose this week,
that's the only chance really.
Yeah, or if Oregon loses and then beats Utah.
No, we need Utah to beat Oregon. I think.
Well, but I mean, Oregon's playing in Arizona State.
Loses Arizona State, they beat Utah,
and then beats Utah. Then they eliminate each other. LSU to beat Georgia because if Georgia beats LSU, there's 2 SEC teams getting in. Alabama, I'm like you. I don't think there's a chance Alabama gets in.
If Tua's there, there might be a chance. But without Tua, though, there's no way you can justify that.
Yeah.
I mean, Clemson loses, they're done, possibly, because they have no quality wins at all. So, I mean, if Clemson loses, I mean, they could lose South Carolina like Georgia did. But then again, the committee apparently doesn't think that's a bad loss.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's just.
Well, I saw the rankings yesterday. I tweeted out, like, well, we need a miracle to get in. Now, that little baboon throwing the laptop off the thing. So, I mean, it's weird being in this position because the last few years we know if we just went out, we're in. But this is the first year that we haven't been in that situation. Like, we need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Which
sucks. My position has never changed with the playoff. Okay, when the first playoff came out, I always thought it wasn't enough teams, and now the issue is there's so much subjectivity to it. They took the BCS out because they needed the human element. They said, I think there's too much human element in it.
Well, they're just so stupid. Like they contradict themselves to make the argument for certain teams, and it doesn't work for the other team. Like, how on earth is Penn State ahead of Minnesota? They just played, and Minnesota won
and beat them bad.
Yeah, I mean it's just like, I mean, wait, how can you justify that at all? Like, it's just so stupid. Like, oh yeah, they lost to Iowa. That's a good loss. I guess Penn State's lost a good loss, but they lost head to head. Like, how can you justify that?
Right.
It makes zero sense at all.
Right.
Like, then their arguments just keep changing for different people.
And here's my biggest issue with it. It feels like that the committee is keeping teams ranked at a certain position behind everybody to keep the quality of wins up. Because Auburn's lost 2 games or three, and they're behind a 1 loss. Auburn has beaten no quality team.
Oregon.
Okay. But anybody else with a winning record, they haven't beaten.
Yeah, Oregon's
so does that tell you that Oregon is bad? But my point is why are they even in the top 25?
Because they lost close to all those teams. They look good. I mean, it's just stupid. It's SEC.
See,
I hate to say SEC bias, but it's just like so obvious with some of the stuff. It's just, it's weird because they respect Big 12. We have 4 teams ranked, but yet we aren't getting respect up top.
Right.
Like, it's like they obviously think we have a good conference, but they're not giving us any respect at all up top at all. And then their excuse for Utah losing the USC said, well, their running back was out. It's like, who cares? Like, that's not a reason for you to, like, people have injuries all the time.
Yeah, the SEC has 5 teams in, I guess. 5 teams in it. LSU, Georgia, Alabama,
Auburn,
Florida. I guess that's it. So
some people are trying to push for A&M to be ranked again. It's like,
well, people are saying that they could be ranked again if they win this weekend.
Who are they playing this weekend?
I think they're playing Auburn.
I mean, if they be Auburn, sure. I mean, because they'll both be 4 loss teams. So I don't care. Auburn better jump out of the top 25 then if they have 4 losses already.
Yeah, see, and that's what I think a lot of people.
They already played Auburn.
I don't know who they're playing. Somebody, because they were saying if they win. Are they playing LSU? No, they're not playing LSU. I don't know who they're playing. I don't care who they're playing. But a lot of people have said, and I even say it for Oklahoma and the Big 12, they've kept teams ranked at a specific spot to make their argument of quality win or a quality loss. Forget about the top 4. My issue is 11 through 25. I think there's too much jockeying around with that to make teams that are in the front.
I don't think they care, honestly. I think they do care about the top 10. After that, they just pick a team, pretty much.
There's 2 things they need to do. They either need to go back to the BCS system and let the computers rank them, pour all the data, total yards, total everything, opponents, and it'll spit out the teams, or expand, which I have always been a proponent of. Even in the first one, it's not enough teams. At least 8. I always thought 16 was better, but I'll get off the 16.
I'm fine with 6, honestly. Give them a 1-2 a bye.
Yeah, I mean, 1 and 2 a bye. Play the wild card at the home, like the higher seed stadium, then neutral site again. Well, but my deal is if you're going to holler Power 5, then you have to put the Power 5 conference champions in. And then people say, well, you can have a 2. A 2-loss conference champion.
They won the championship.
Yeah, they won their championship. Why does everybody call it Championship November when your conference championship makes no difference?
Like I said, they only holler that when it fits their narrative. Like the first year when they put Ohio State in, they fit their narrative for a conference champion. Now it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah,
it just doesn't fit the narrative because the Blue Bloods are up there, and so that gives them an excuse to Not those don't matter this year. This year it matters about the eye test. Like, this changes every year. It doesn't help that every year they change committees. So I mean, the committees changes. It's a crapshoot. So I mean, that's why it's just stupid. I mean, this is like this year. I think it's like a worst nightmare for them because there's so many teams with one loss so close together, and their reasonings don't match any of them.
Yeah, their arguments for team 1 doesn't match what it is for team 2.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. That's why I said there's too much of a human element in it, this is the type of thing that we needed. I would much rather have had like 7 undefeated teams sitting there or 8 undefeated teams, but instead you've got, 7, 5, 6, 7 one-loss teams?
You could end up with, the end of the year, Bama, us, Oregon. Yeah, like 3 one-loss teams fight for one spot.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's looking more and more like it's going to be us versus Bama in the the Sugar Bowl.
Sugar Bowl.
Whatever.
Which, again, that doesn't have the luster it did.
It's just instead of be Jalen versus Tua, it would be Jalen versus Saban.
I would just soon them not match us with Alabama.
I mean, if that happens, we probably CD won't play that game. I would bet. Maybe Murray not playing that game. I mean,
what about Jalen?
Well, Jalen, I think will play just because it's Bama. I think if it's anyone else, I don't think he'll play. But if it's Georgia, I don't know if he'll play. I mean, he might play too because he's not first round draft pick. Like CD for sure won't play that game because he's like a top 10 pick. So there's no reason for him to play that game if he even plays at all this year. Because I don't know what's going on with him. Yeah, I don't think he's injured. I think something else is going on. Lincoln's just lying to us.
Well, that's personally. What there's a lot of people who have said that if it ends up being Oklahoma and Alabama, there's 8 people off the top of everybody's head that probably won't play in the game.
I mean, Judy won't play for Bama probably. I mean, they have the whole receiving corps probably won't play because they're all first round guys.
But that's true whether or not it's Oklahoma and Alabama in the Sugar Bowl.
If we're in the Sugar Bowl, if we're not in the college football playoff, CD's not going to play in the game. Bama's not in the playoffs. Their receiving corps is not going to play in the game. It's just how it is. It's how the NCAA is right now.
Right, and people don't like Nick Saban, but Nick Saban said it last year when people were talking about his thoughts on guys, not playing in the bowl games. He said, "Well, this is what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted a playoff. We got a playoff, and now the bowls don't matter."
Yep.
And the kids don't want to play in them. They don't want to take a chance.
Because there's been a couple people who's been hurt in those games. Like the guy was it Jaden Smith, who he's back now with the Cowboys or whatever his name is. He's Cowboys now, but I heard it was he was like a top 5 draft pick. He still got drafted in the first round, but it took him like 2 years to get back. He's like an all-pro linebacker now, but still, it's just not. It's just not worth it to some of those players.
Yeah. And
like I say, if I was CD in that game, I wouldn't play that game. Like there's no point in it. I mean, it's just.
But I mean, I don't know what Oklahoma does or what a lot of teams do, but the Sugar Bowl that we went to and played Auburn, Mixon and P. Ryan and everybody played in that game.
Well, so Mixon wasn't a top 10 pick though. Like CD's a top 10 pick. Like there's, I mean, I think he's going to be a top 10 pick no matter what. So I mean.
But you never know. I mean, kids can try to protect themselves, or then again, they may have the honor not to let their teammates down. You never know with that stuff. I mean, I wouldn't blame them one way or the other because a bowl game doesn't hold what it used to, in which it shouldn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then also it's just, you just can't blame anyone for looking out for their own career too.
Right. No, I mean.
So what do you think it's CD? Do you think the CD's actually hurt?
I don't know, man. I mean. He didn't seem to be hurt. They were talking possibly concussion when
There's
he
no way
hit.
He has concussion because he won't be able to do all the stuff he did. He won't be able to do interviews with ESPN. You have to list it. You have to list it as like he has a concussion. He has to be listed for that and test everything. But it's like a concussion protocol. You can't warm up with the team before.
If he did something wrong, there's just too many.
That's why
nosy people out there who would find out what it was.
Lincoln doesn't say jack crap to anyone. That's why. If he doesn't play this week, Lincoln's got to answer some questions because now
he already has. He said.
Well, I know right now he can get away with we're not sure yet. But if he's out for 2 weeks in a row, this is a Blitnikoff.
Yeah, I can't.
Award winner.
I know we talked about him being in trouble and so on and so forth. I don't see them letting him suit up and warm up if he was in trouble. You know what I mean?
Baker warm up when he was in trouble and stuff like that.
If he was in trouble enough not to play the whole game, I know Baker got, suspended for the first series. Kyler got suspended for a first series.
I just don't like how he doesn't say what. I guess no, it's gamesmanship, whatever. But even like the NFL and stuff like that, they have to like at least tell you what's wrong with
Yeah.
him. He's just saying he's an injury. I mean,
Well, but I mean that's different in college because they don't have to release it because it's medical. It's they're not pros. They don't.
not pros, but quote unquote.
Yeah, quote unquote. But I don't think if he was suspended for the game, they wouldn't have had him out there warming up.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been that type of deal. I think.
I mean, he was saying he was playing. But it could be a neck thing, I guess. I don't know.
He could have a a stinger, or he could have a bum ankle, or and
It's definitely an ankle. I think if it's anything, it's just like his neck or something.
Because he, and when he got checked out, and they were like, it's just not take the chance. There's bigger games to come, and
that was a pretty big game for him to miss. I mean, especially when he's like on, like he's trying. I mean, he's like the favorite for the Biletnikoff. I mean, it's just like he wants to play as much as he can. So that's his goal for the year, personal goal.
Yeah, I don't think he got in trouble because they wouldn't have let him warm up like that. They wouldn't have used him as a pawn, which I think if he was hurt, something's wrong with him, and I think they used him as a pawn.
I mean, if he doesn't play this week, I think it's going to become more and more like what's going on with this kid. Pretty much, I don't think it's going to be more. I think this week everyone's like, all right, because everyone still thinks he's going to play this week. Because you listen to people who like he's been practicing all week and everything. So, god dang, weekly phone going off.
Phone going off.
Why you never put your phone on silent?
I don't know. I never think about it.
Jeez.
So, but anyway, the Baylor game is behind us. Great comeback. I wish
that's behind us right now too.
I wish Rob was here tonight because we do need to talk about the fan superstitious because
people calling them out.
Well, people are calling him out, and basically Lincoln last night they talked about it. He doesn't mind it. He it feels.
He says he felt the magic coming to him. I said.
Of course, Toby started it off. T-Rose started it off. They showed
hoodies.
The hoodies up. You know what Lincoln said?
Yeah.
Why didn't you start it earlier?
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty much a question about like, could you feel the magic of all of our fans? Juju going over there?
Yeah, I mean he did. They asked him, and I can't think of the guy's name. Clark Stroud. He shared a bunch of the tweets that were on to T Rose deal about what people did, and I mean he got a good laugh, but he didn't say. I think he said he appreciated them, and his wife has stuff that she does. And actually she walked around the stadium, the
Outside?
second half, in the concourse area where she could still see it, but she couldn't sit still, and so she got up and went. He did not say, that stuff is crazy. It's funny, ha ha ha. He did kind of insinuate, though, with this statement to Toby, why didn't you do it sooner? Mm-hmm. Got a good kick out of some of them, and was appreciative of what the fans do, whatever their support is. So whether Rob likes it or not,
he's in the wrong. I said
he's in the wrong.
He's been. I said, when everyone else is doing it, he's like, "Oh, I guess everyone's crazy." No, I think you're the crazy one for not thinking this. It's pretty obvious that everyone else is doing it.
Everyone has their things that they do.
I just question every time we talk about this. Question Rob's fanhood. Honestly, it's just like how you call yourself a fan and you don't do stuff like that. And that's what's part of being a fan. Fans is for fanatic. We do dumb stuff to help our teams.
Yeah, and it doesn't have. There are things that we do every game day that we're specific on doing, but there's also things that you incorporate during the game. For instance, I wore my same stuff that I wore with the exception of the Kansas State loss, because I started off in my hockey jersey. I took it off at the end of at halftime. Didn't help us. We made a run back, but we didn't get past.
No, I took my Lee shirt off at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah. So, but this one, I had my baseball jersey, had my regular cap on, had my shoe, had everything, but I didn't change anything I did through the whole game, did I? Mm-hmm. I was holding, and Rob was like, well, even then it was like, well, then why didn't you change something? Because I was holding to the mojo of my jersey and hat. You know what I mean? I was, and when I saw us making the comeback, I continued to do what I was doing, and I did not burst out into cheer until we got the interception. So
it's obvious that Rob's in the wrong. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just. I mean, I think we all can agree on that.
So
I mean, he's just gone bury himself deeper in his grave. He's been fighting it for 2 years now. I mean,
he needs to start buying into it. He thinks we're crazy. He wants to start a psychotherapy with us to figure out.
I'm pretty sure we take us to therapist, but yeah, that's normal. I mean,
yeah, I mean, everybody's got their things, and shirts that they burn or they don't
everyone's
wear.
Superstitious.
I don't throw away any of my Sooner gear. I just don't wear it for the next game. You know what I mean? I retire it with a loss.
Do you? I wonder if he's superstitious about anything.
I don't think so, and it's crazy. He was a big time baseball player. He played JUCO baseball.
They're most superstitious people out there.
Baseball are the most. They got the rally caps and all that weird stuff, and they do the same thing at
hockey
home
players
plate.
don't shave their beard and playoff beards. I mean, I think baseball does that too now. Most people don't shave their faces in baseball too.
Yeah, it's just there's things out there that we do to help as fans to help the team, and that's why I don't like the Corona beer, but I like the Corona beer commercials with the Corona hotline. The fans calling to make sure what they're doing is okay, and it's okay as long as they're using the Corona. That's a pretty good. It's got Mr. Romo on it now, Tony Romo.
Yeah.
But here's the deal, though, Caleb. With the big win and everything, Oklahoma's still got a bunch of problems. Don't you think?
I think the biggest problem is not being consistent. I think if they're consistent, they're good.
Yeah, but I mean, we've turned the last 3 weeks. We've turned the ball over a bunch.
Yeah.
We got 2 turnovers in this game. Really 3 in the last 2. They don't count the interception in the extra point as a turnover, but we are. But Jalen's turning the ball over a lot. You hit the nail on the head. We're inconsistent everywhere.
If we're just consistent, I think. I mean, if we're consistent, we're one of the best teams in the country. That's been our issues. We haven't been consistent.
So even with the Kansas State loss, if we'd have held that 21-point lead over Iowa State and then had the comeback,
I think we'll probably be right behind Oregon, probably right there with Oregon.
Yeah, I mean it's just weird. We haven't seen our offense have struggles like this in 3 years, have we? I mean, last year,
not really. No,
last year at the first.
No, because we couldn't. We couldn't because we couldn't even get 3 and outs last 2 years. So, I mean, if we messed up at all for this last 2 years, we would get blown out. I think Texas Tech's the only game we came back from. That's because the quarterback got hurt.
Yeah,
that's the reason because we couldn't stop that team. So I mean, we can afford to be inconsistent this year because our defense is good enough.
Right,
but we're just not used to it.
But yeah, and it's weird. I mean, why is it? Is it the young offensive line? I mean, we got experienced backs.
I think offensive line. It's just a different system too. I mean, it's a totally different system that we've been running. I mean, because there's a lot of quarterback run, which I know a lot of people out there don't like. Rob and I have talked about it. I'm not the big fan of it, but man, you can't argue with Jalen being proficient in the quarterback run as long as he don't drop the damn ball. Yeah. And so far, almost every run he has is the right decision. And I think if it wasn't, I think Lincoln would pull him if he was doing what Lincoln didn't want him to be doing, or if Lincoln had an issue with how he's running the offense and what he's doing, he wouldn't have him out there playing. I don't care what promises he made. Lincoln's job is to win games, not to make a 23-year-old kid feel good about himself. Yeah. So
if it's not Jalen doing what he's not supposed to, maybe sometimes he overreacts. I'm tending to wish that he would overreact and run more than he would overreact and throw, because when he overreacts and throws, it's horrible.
Yeah, he just those bad passes. He just forces it.
I mean, the interception, which we shouldn't have been throwing the ball anyway with 2 minutes left in the Iowa State game up by 7, but we did, and it was a bad
too.
Yeah, the CD fumble. It's weird that we've had 2 quarterbacks in the same year have the same type of dumb fumble, putting your hand down on the ball hand down.
Maybe they teach Alabama, I guess.
Well, Kyler did it last year
Yeah,
against Texas. But, I think we as fans just aren't used to the problems, the inconsistencies on offense, the turnovers on offense. So it's made fans a lot worse. What do you think about this? I was listening to some people on I was listening to Rufus was on for Sam Mays on what's the name of the franchise? And Kobe Daniels brought up the point. Caleb, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts? A fan saying, "I would rather play Alabama in the Sugar Bowl than go to the playoffs and get beat."
That's just stupid.
Thank you.
I mean, it makes no sense.
Yeah, why? You want to go to the playoffs every year. I don't. You know what? I'm not going to be happy losing in the first round. But if we would make
we
it,
got a shot. Then we got a shot. We beat Bama. Like no one's going to remember that in 2 years.
And like Rufus said, you want to play the best. Fans, you're not out there. We're not out there playing. Of course, you're going to say that. But no, if you're a fan. I don't care if we got 2 losses or 3 losses. I want to still be lobbying to get into the playoffs somehow.
Yeah, it's just, if you get in playoffs, you still have a chance. And then, if we way back, the Bama thing, we won't remember in 2 years. We won't.
Yeah.
Especially this Bama team without maybe if Tua played, it might be more interesting. But with no Tua, it's like eh.
Yeah.
In 2 years, no one's going to know about this game. Everyone's going to be what happened 2 years ago? Did we play? Who was in the Sugar Bowl 2 years ago? Was it OSU?
It was Auburn.
It was 2 years ago. It was OSU versus Ole Miss or something.
Yeah.
No one no. It's just.
And the only reason why anybody remembers the Texas Georgia game was because of the
Ellinger back.
We're back. Oh man, I can't believe. Can you believe they've lost 4 games the last 10 years?
10 years. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. At least 4 games, but no. I want us, I may not have a lot of confidence.
I mean, I think we can beat. I think we beat Oregon. I think we could put up a fight against LSU because I don't think LSU's defense is good.
I think we'd beat LSU.
I think we beat LSU, and then Ohio State's a team that scares me.
I think we could beat everybody. Ohio State would be the tough one, but Clemson.
I'm not sure about Clemson either because Clemson's just been killing teams.
Yeah, but
Clemson's like they got woken up by North Carolina. Ever since then, they're just steamrolling teams. They're doing what we're supposed to be doing. So I can't say we play no one. They're just beating the crap out of every team they're playing. It's like they were last year.
Yeah,
I won't be surprised if they go to the playoffs and they just beat the crap out of everyone.
And I still think I'm going to stand on my back onto the Oklahoma getting to the playoff deal. Is I'm going to still sit on my prediction at the beginning of the year. Oklahoma this year to get in was going to have to win the Big 12 and go undefeated.
Yeah,
I said all along they're not going to let Oklahoma in with 1 loss this year.
I said the only way they would would be Jalen versus Tua.
Yeah,
and that storyline got ruined. So,
but I mean, they're never going to let an undefeated Oklahoma not be there. And
majority of the time, 1 loss Oklahoma not be there. It's just this year. It's just like we've been in the last 2 times. One of them was a good performance. The other one wasn't so good. It's like, all right, let's give someone else a try. Pretty much.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's their thought process.
I think it is too. I mean, Oklahoma's had 2 shots and they haven't done anything with it. It's time to get somebody else with a 1 loss. It's a new shot.
Yeah, Pac-12 has been in since the first year.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like they were in with Washington too.
Yeah,
so.
Washington and Oregon, weren't they?
Oregon made it to the final once.
Yeah.
Like we're the only conference yet to win a game yet, which that's kind of embarrassing. But
yeah.
But I mean, Oregon went to the final the first year, and then Washington got steamrolled by Bama the one they were in, and they haven't been in since. I think it's been there 6 years, and I've been there 2 of the 6 years.
Yeah.
So I mean that's another reason why they're like, all right, well, it's Pac-12's turn. I mean, OU deserved the last couple of years, but now it's time for the Pac-12.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said, it's weird for a space position because normally we have control on destiny, but we can tell from Tuesday's rankings, like, well, we need a lot of help now to get in this.
And it could still somehow.
I mean, I think we can get over to Utah because I don't think Utah's very good at all.
Yeah, I mean, if somehow the Sun Devils can pull out a victory this weekend, and because I think we'll eventually jump Bama. I mean, if Bama doesn't look well, I mean, they may not beat Auburn. They're not going to the Big 12. They're not going to the SEC championship. So by the end of the championship weekend, I think we'll be ahead of Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, because we have more quality wins.
Right. But what we need to happen between then is, like I said, Oregon lose this week. Oregon beat Utah. And
It's probably Herm Edwards. We play to win the game.
Yeah.
We need a miracle from Herm Edwards.
And so
then
even
LSU,
LSU beat Georgia, and we're in. I mean, it really comes down to that.
You think Conway's going to cheer for Arizona State because he hates them?
Probably not.
Because he hates Arizona. He's an Arizona guy, so he's like, all right, Conway, we need you to put that Arizona State, put your pride aside and go for Arizona State.
We need to text him and find out what's going on with that. But Texas Christian Horned Frogs, Gary Patterson, the most sweatingest head coach ever. Did you hear last week it was like 40-something degrees in the game, and they said he was sweating?
I mean, he's like that guy from Arizona, the coach from Arizona basketball team.
Yeah.
He sweats through his shirt every game.
But Gary Patterson is going to bring the Horned Frogs in. What is their record this year? Let me pull
Did they
that.
have 4 losses?
I think you're right, Caleb.
Maybe 5.
Let's see. 2, 4, 5. They have lost to SMU, Iowa State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Baylor.
5.
So, yep. 5 losses. They lost Baylor overtime. We know that they both scored 9 points in the whole game, but ended up 29-23. Lost to Oklahoma State 34-27. Lost to Kansas State 24-17, and Iowa State put a thumping on them 49-24, and SMU beat them 41-38. So not your classic Gary Patterson team, but I think still a dangerous team.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't think Gary Patterson's been watching game film of the last 3 games,
they saw really good defense.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. He is seeing what these 3 defenses have done that he hasn't been able to do to stop Oklahoma. You're crazy because Patterson can coach some defense. Let's see, they have, looking at the Big 12 conference, they have the number 1 rushing defense in the conference.
Yeah, that's our strength too. So
we have the number 2 rushing offense.
Okay, OSU's number 1.
Yeah, OSU's number 1.
Not surprising.
Chuba's number 1.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's really good.
Turn and give it. It's like us coaching Sterling when he was.
He's getting the ball. Everyone got out of the way pretty much.
Yeah. But TCU has the number 1 ranked rushing defense and the number 3 ranked rushing offense. So you're going to have to stop the run too.
Honestly, be a good test for next week, honestly, because I don't think OSU's a walkover at all. I mean, for how you beat OU, Dad, you run the ball, keep OU's offense on the field, and wear down our defense.
Yeah.
And these are 2 teams. This is 2 teams that can do that. I mean, I think we should win this game pretty handily, but I think this is a good test for next week because next week that Chuba guy is going to national stage. He's trying to get to New York. I mean, they're going to do everything they can in their power to make sure he looks good that night. So I think this would be a good test for the next week. We should. I've been saying this for 3 weeks in a row now. We should win handily, but I just don't know with this team. They're not consistent enough.
Well, and that's what a lot of people are saying. What team's going to show up? I mean,
we've seen both teams last 3 games.
But everybody wants to see the team that was 7-0. You know,
well, I think what happened was I haven't listened to Rufus. Like he said, someone found a flaw in our game, and the coaches we play against have used it against us, and we've tried to react to that pretty much.
Right.
So we've been on reacting here recently. I think hopefully we figure it out. It's gonna make it a full game.
Well, here's the thing. I think this is my take on it. Kansas State, I don't think we made any adjustments until the 4th quarter, offensively and maybe even defensively. I still think that they thought we were good enough to beat them doing more than, and they made some drastic adjustments. We came back in the 4th quarter.
I think the 4th quarter they went super vanilla, and then we just kind of that's what also too.
Yeah, that also. But I mean, obviously in the Baylor game, there were some huge adjustments. And even if you don't know football very well, if you just watch the lines, okay.
I got killed the first half. And the second half was a different story.
Yeah, different story. And I mean, you just watch what goes on the offensive line and defensive line. You'll see where the play calling didn't change. Really, it was the schemes in running the plays.
Yeah.
And the schemes in defending plays. The play calling didn't change. the blocking schemes changed, whether they decided, okay, like we've heard before, we've heard from Patterson, that they run the same play on 9 different sets and 9 different blocking schemes.
Yeah.
They just went, okay, we're gonna run play A, but we're going to use blocking scheme B, or C or D. Instead of doing this, we're going to block it this way. So, they made the adjustments early. I think they made the adjustments because they felt like they were making a run, is what Lincoln said at the end of the second quarter, going into halftime. I just think at Kansas State, they didn't feel like they needed to make adjustment, or as drastic as adjustment.
I also don't think they knew what was going on at first for a little bit. They couldn't figure it out. Then they saw the film and it's like, oh, they did something we never seen before.
Yeah.
So,
the same way with the Iowa State game. I think
Iowa State game, we thought we had it done.
I think you're right, and I think as much as I love Lincoln Riley, he gets a little cute sometimes. Yeah. There's no when you got a running game, and he says that he gets mad at himself over play calls, but when you got the lead, with under 3 minutes left, and you got the ball, I don't care if it is 3rd and long, you run the ball.
I think it's just like once we thought it was over, we put the engine off and it took us. Yeah, we almost get it turned on in time.
Yeah.
So it's just we just didn't have enough. Luckily, we made a play at the end, but that's how I felt about that game at least. I thought we just kind of thought it was over, and then by the time we tried to turn it back on, it was almost too late.
If the team that showed up, if the team that played the second half on both sides of the ball in the Baylor game, they beat everybody in the country.
Or even said if we get the first half in the Iowa State game, even that team shows up too.
Those were two dynamic. What got me about the Baylor game is that Oklahoma on offense and defense did exactly what they wanted every play. There were a few, we had a couple of sacks, and blah, blah, blah. But, there was a negative play. We came back and doubled it or got the first down.
Yeah.
You watch that game. They were just beating the crap out of Baylor, physically beating them up at that time, which we hadn't seen Oklahoma do. They did, like I said, in the Iowa State game, but not to that draft. Last time we saw an ass kicking like that on the line was Texas in the Big 12 championship game when they went after, oh boy.
I forgot what his name was.
Yeah. Yeah, with the Goldilocks, as Rob called him. Every time they had a chance, they put that man on his back. And these young kids, these big old boys went out there in the second half and put a mud thumping on them. And so I just want to see that this week. I want to see them come out with that type of attitude from the very start and hang a half 100 on them, hold them under 20 points, walk out of there and do the same thing next week. And then all we can do as fans is wherever the dice land after that.
Yeah,
we can be upset. You were talking about Rufus. We both talked about Rufus. Obviously, we were listening to the same radio station. Yeah. He said Oklahoma don't got nobody. If they went out, they don't got nobody to blame but themselves. They lost the Kansas State game. You don't lose that game, you're in.
Huh.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Exactly. You screwed up. You didn't, Caleb, maybe next year, like we were talking about, maybe you don't need to say we always lose a game. We don't.
Well, I'm going to say every year until we don't do it. It's a fact.
Maybe if you stop saying
it's not like that. It's not that we lose the game. We lose the game. We're double-digit favorites. Yeah. 8 of the last 9 years or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
We're double-digit favorites and we lose. It's like, until we do it. We'll make a schedule next year. Like, there's going to be a game in here, we're going to lose. It's just a fact. Until they prove me wrong. So that's why I never pick OU win that championship until they prove me wrong too, because it hasn't happened in 20 years now. Which is crazy to say.
It's in 20 years.
Unless they get in this year, they can maybe make it this year, but it's not looking good right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, people want to, it's frustrating as fans that we're not there, but at least we're relevant. You know what I mean? I mean, for 20 years we have been in the conversation of almost every national championship run.
As people call us Choklahoma, though, because we never win the big one, though.
But, those teams that call us Choklahoma, how many runs have they had?
I mean, only people really say they have better runs than us. Probably 20 years. I guess Florida can say they're up there. Alabama, and Ohio State. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, Clemson can in a
kind
couple
of now because they're kind of the Florida territory, kind of.
Yeah, they're kind of on that border. But go back to 2000, and almost every year, there's like just a handful, 2 or 3 years where Oklahoma wasn't relevant in that top 10
I'd say probably us and Ohio State are probably most consistent teams since 2000.
Which, yeah, it's good, but I want to win a dang championship.
Yeah.
I want to take my Oklahoma national championship flag down and have somebody embroider, another title on it.
When was the last time we had a parade here?
We've never had a parade here.
Well, there'll be a parade now, though. It's the thing to do, so there will be a parade now.
But, I think we got the man to do it in Lincoln Riley. I really think what's going on now is Lincoln is having to coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he's had to fire.
I think he's always like coach because he's
well, but he
has his people now.
Yeah, you had to fire somebody, and that firing ended up 2 more people gone, and you got to bring more people in. He's having to learn. He's having to learn the intricacies, and I think that's what it is. It's a learning curve right now for him. I mean, it really is. I mean, we've all complained about the squib kick, and the second half. He has said before, if he had it to do all over again, he wouldn't have taken his foot off the gas, and they wouldn't have squib kicked.
That's probably the biggest complaint you can have is that he takes his foot off the gas too often.
Yeah. And which is the right thing to do, is to play the safe. But when you don't have a defense to back you up, an elite defense, you can't take your foot off the gas.
That's right, and it takes especially offense that powerful to get that other team confidence.
And I think that's what happened in Georgia was he had confidence in that defense because they were stopping them. And it was 7. They scored 17 points. It was like 31-7. Yeah, something like that.
It may have been 17.
And hey, he probably but our defense was inconsistent.
They gave Georgia confidence because we just punched Georgia in the mouth. They didn't know how to respond. And once they kind of took off the gas, they kept on. Like we count that first drive at the halftime, we probably went and go down and score. That game's over. But they came in, pumped us, sacked us a couple times.
And for him to do what he did last year, getting rid of Stoops and having to rearrange all that stuff in the middle and still make it to the playoffs, still ended up in a decent fight against Alabama, even though it started off horribly.
I mean, it's a fight that it's pretty much like a boxing match. You lose the first 8 rounds, and pretty much we're trying to come back from you're not going to win. The only way you win is just knock them out, which we just couldn't do it.
Yeah. And, now this year, I think he's still learning some other things. I mean, and how to react. I mean, he's had to react coming from behind. He's never really had to come from behind since he's been here, has he? I mean, not like he has the last 3 games. I mean, where he didn't have to come from behind in Iowa State, but
Texas really is the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's first he's been out coached by a couple of times. I mean, Matt Rule, the guy from Kansas State out coached him.
Yeah.
I mean,
but other thing is the freshman I wanted to talk about real quick. Stogner had 2 catches and 2 touchdowns. So against Baylor.
Yeah.
Theo had 2 catches and 1 touchdown. That's pretty impressive right there.
Yeah.
So, and I think that helps, Jalen out a little bit more moving forward. He has a little bit more confidence. I do think he's been, you always throw it to your best guy, but like I said, I mean, we can complain all we want. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, we joked about it at the beginning of the year. Was that CD
spurring out too much now?
I mean, now everybody's like, he's throwing it to CD all the time, and then CD's out, and everybody's like, oh my God, CD's out. What are we going to do? So, welcome to Oklahoma, Jalen. You're never going to make any of us happy. So
he already knows that. He's at Alabama. So
yeah, like I said, I don't feel bad. Every fan base has the crazies in it. Us maybe more than others, or maybe not. I don't know. I love Oklahoma
you ever
fans.
Listen to the Fine Bomb show.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
We got crazy fans too. It's just
there is a group out there wanting to fire Saban and have been wanting to fire him for several years. So that I don't understand.
Yeah.
There was, back in the day, there was a group that wanted to fire Barry Switzer. I mean, just kind of the reason why Barry's not here wasn't, didn't coach any longer than what he did. There was a lot of stuff done wrong, but people wanted him gone, and the right people want you gone.
And you go, my guy,
you're out of there. So, but I keep saying, I'm not going to be, Okie Stank and be like those guys. Next year's our year, but I really think shortly. I was hoping we would turn. It's kind of, don't you think it's kind of wishful thinking that we'd have turned the curve this fast on defense? But
well, I mean, this year we were hoping for 50
top
at best,
50,
and we're at 34. I mean, thing is, like, it depends who comes back. We're losing Gallimore. We'll see if Murray comes back. We'll see if Creed comes back, because I think Creed would be a huge loss for our offense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we got to see who's going to come back. We have, like, if Murray comes back and Creed come back, I think next year might be our best chance to do it.
I think there's a good chance Murray come back, because I've heard some linebacker people say, unless he's a first round or high second round, it ain't worth it for him to come out. Stay one more year and become a first rounder.
Yeah. What could hurt, though, is that Gallimore might be gone. Gallimore makes his job a lot easier, though.
Yeah. But you never know. I mean, they may, I don't know who, but they probably got somebody back there hitting the weight room right now and getting bigger, faster, and stronger.
Hopefully. So,
but what do you think is going to happen this weekend, Caleb, against the Horned Frogs?
I don't know. I gave up. I gave up with this team. I think we're going to win. I just don't know. Sure. I mean, we should be a blowout, but I think we're going to win.
Yeah, that's all we can say anymore is that we're going to win, because we don't know how many points we're going to score over 30. We've done that in every game, haven't we? Yeah. So we're going to score over 30. Just don't know when.
Yeah.
We know by the end of the game, but we don't know if it's going to be in the first half or the second half, or the first quarter and fourth quarter. We don't know how we're going to score them. Hopefully the defense fixes itself. I think we're going to be fine. I mean, I don't think we're going to. I have surrendered to the fact that we're not going to make the college playoffs. I want to.
I mean, I'm not going to give up hope until championship weekend.
Well, I figure if I don't, if I give up hope now, when we get there, I'll be more excited.
We just need America. We need college football to happen. Really, I mean, we need something crazy to happen. Like Toby tweeted today, he bets that Ohio State, LSU, or Clemson's not going to make the playoffs. I think if Ohio State loses, I think they still good in.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ohio State may move up if they lose. So if it's against a good team,
yeah, that's how it works. I think they can lose to Michigan. I think Michigan's pretty darn good right now. So I mean,
but they'll still get in.
Yeah, because they have one loss.
Yeah,
and they'll still be a Big Ten champion, but still,
and it'll be a quality loss. The quality losses don't hurt you.
Apparently,
yeah.
Or even bad losses don't hurt you apparently either.
And and that's one of the things Rufus said. It's fine. The reason why Auburn is where they are is that they've lost to good teams.
Yeah, and they're all close.
Which is the Texas.
Well, same thing with Iowa State. Iowa State has 4 losses in their ranked because they lose by 1 point all the time. So I mean,
you play to win the game, folks. You play.
Hopefully that guy shows up this week. You play to win the game, because if he wins this week, then it changes everything.
Yep. What else you want to talk about, Caleb? You got mad at me for not letting me talk about movies.
I saw a couple movies last weekend. Saw Dr. Sleep, really good. Then I saw Ford vs. Ferrari, which is a top 5 movie for me this year. It's really good. It's funny, crazy. I mean, it's a sports movie. It's crazy. It's crazy intense. It's a really good movie.
So Christian those of you don't know it, Caleb is a huge movie buff. Rob actually is too, but Rob's the guy that'll go to and you do too. Sometimes go by yourself, don't you?
I don't like to. I used to do that sometimes.
Rob goes by himself. He's the creepy guy in the back with the popcorn.
Yeah.
But Caleb, how many movies do you think you go see a month?
I don't know. In summertime, I go every weekend pretty much. I'll probably go now because it's getting close to Hollywood. There's a lot of movies I want to see right now. So I mean,
what's the movie you want to see?
I want to see the Knives Out movie. It comes out next week, and then I won't mind seeing the Mr. Rogers movie. See, because Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And of course, you got Star Wars, you got Jumanji, and then The Irishman comes out next Wednesday on Netflix. So I'm pretty pumped for that movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the Ford. If you want to go see a movie, go see Ford vs. Ferrari. It's really good. It's kind of long, but it's worth it because it's an intense action sports movie. So I mean,
what about the new Vin Diesel movie that's coming out?
That's not coming out till January.
Well, still.
Yeah. I don't care about January. January's like crap movie time, pretty much. I mean, the only thing I'll see in January is Bad Boys. That's it.
Why do you want to see Bad Boys?
I love Bad Boys. Bad Boys is awesome.
Bunch of old fat men.
They aren't fat.
Have you seen?
That's one guy. Will Smith's the other one. He's not fat at all.
That's why that was doing that. I had my foot on a cable. There was something else I was going to ask you. What the heck was it? Doggone it. It had to do with a movie. Can't think of it. Can't remember it.
You know what movie?
No, I can't remember what I was going to ask you about. It was on the movie subject, but not about a movie.
Paper Falcon?
Yeah, I saw that. That's a good movie.
It's a good movie. I like that one.
Yeah. Had a bunch of old wrestlers in it.
Yeah. It's good, though.
Jake the Snake, wasn't it?
Jake the Snake.
What was the other guy's name? The ref?
It's Mick Foley.
Yeah, Nick Foley. And, have you watched Tosh.0, speaking of that?
No.
He had Hacksaw Jim Duggan on the other day.
I haven't seen Tosh in like 3 or 4 years. I know that guy's still making a show, honestly. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Because there's a podcast out that he smack talks the old wrestler that's on it, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan was on with him. It was pretty funny.
Nice.
He has a new segment. I watched it last night. It's called "Someone Kill That Guy Now."
I'm so shocked that Tosh has a show. That's crazy that Tosh has a show. But
Yeah.
I mean,
it was pretty funny. It was a guy who has a YouTube channel, and he puts smashes a pie on his face, and then rubs it all over himself.
yeah. I mean, I wish I could say that's weird, but that's the internet for you.
Yeah, that was his segment. Somebody kill this guy now. So, we don't have any predictions other than Oklahoma is going to beat TCU this weekend. Again, come out, join us at the tailgate. Bring your own drinks. We'll have everything else. We do, if you want to bring something, just bring cash and toss it in the, in the little bin to help us out with it. Like I said, all you need to do is bring whatever you want to drink, whether it be beer, shots, soda, water. We'll have everything else for you. We'll be out there before 1. We'll be up and running at 1. If you want to get there at noon and watch the game, be there at noon. I'll have the TV up and running. So, anything else, Caleb?
Did you hear any crap from last week?
About what?
The Steelers-Browns game?
Nope, none.
I guess because the Myles Garrett almost killed the guy. I guess
that
kind of takes away from the thing.
It's kind of like maybe we shouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. But all right, folks, that's it. Thanks for listening. Boomer, Caleb.
Boomer.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Nixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans, and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.